Hi, it's Allison again on another haunted road trip. I'm here at Burnham Harbor, the site of number 39 on Lon Strickler's Phantom and Monster Chicago Mothman Sightings map, number 39. The following report was forwarded by Manuel Navarrete at the UFO Clearinghouse. This is from Lon Strickler's blog, Phantom and Monsters. I am a little skeptical of reporting what happened, but after reading and researching the sightings that have been happening in Chicago, I'm a little more confident that I will not be seen as insane. This happened on August 21st, 2017 at approximately 1:15 p.m. Central Time at the location just northerly island in Chicago, Illinois. I was there with two friends, and we were there to watch the eclipse that was going to happen over Chicago at about 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. We showed up approximately an hour and a half early to set up equipment to photograph and to observe the eclipse. We were watching and observing as the moon began its transit when we heard a very loud scream. This sounded like squeaky truck brakes that squeal when you're pressing hard on them. At first, we thought that's what it was, maybe a CTA bus or a big truck with brakes that needed maintenance or changing. All right, now, just wanted to point out that over that building there, you see a big kite, probably about Mothman size. Just wanted to point that out so you could see what it looks like as we're speaking here. And again, we are at Burnham Harbor, where this account happened, the sighting happened before the solar eclipse. Now, it's interesting to note, though, that I was actually in Missouri to see the eclipse, and we went there because it was in the zone of totality, so we could see the full eclipse. But also here in Chicago and in the Milwaukee area, it was very, very overcast. So I'm not exactly sure, but you know, I think maybe might be some inconsistencies in this account. So they heard that screech, sounding like big truck brakes. And then we heard it again. This time, it lasted for about 3 seconds, where the previous sound was brief. I looked up to see a large object flying over the docks that stick out into Burnham Harbor from across the water. We were at the east side of the island, facing west across the water on the parking lot, and can see the docks that line the harbor on the opposite shore. This object looked like a large black bat, but also had humanoid features such as pronounced arms and legs. So, lying along the edge of the rock near the water was maybe 6 or 7 feet above the water surface. So it was flying above the edge of the dock. So we saw it fly over most of the docks and then cut a hard left, headed towards Soldier Field. That came up in number 20, the number 20 video as well. We did see it gain altitude as it went over Campus Drive and then towards Soldier Field. The entire sighting lasted about a minute and a half from the time we saw it to the time it cut left and went toward the field. All three of us saw it, and all three of us were sober and not hallucinating. I'm pretty confident that other people saw it because most of the island was filled with people there to see the eclipse. There were also multiple people driving around the museum campus, which is always a very busy spot in the city. I asked that you please take the sighting very seriously, as it was very disturbing to us to see this object. It looked like it was something that should not be messed with. It was scary and looked like it could rip somebody to shreds if it wanted to. This creature had to be about 6 or 7 feet tall, having to guess that because it was in flight when we saw it. The wings were ginormous and had to be at least 6 feet wide when we saw them. You could tell that the wings were catching air because there was a wave motion as the creature glided along. When it banked to the left, it flapped its wings at least 3 or 4 times to gain altitude over the drive. It did look like it had a small tail from what we could see, and that the feet ended in what looked like claws or talons. We could not see any features of the face as it was flying and might have been looking away from us, but of course we could not tell because we were in absolute shock. I do not know what else to compare it to, as it was larger than most birds I've ever seen, and that includes many of the eagles that I grew up with in Alaska. In fact, this thing put many of them to shame in size. It might not be of any consequence, but right after the sighting, there was a decidedly audible hum that was lingering in the area for about 30 minutes. Ooh, that's the first I've heard of that. The hum stopped after about half an hour because we hung around for at least another hour to observe the eclipse and to see if we could possibly get another view of whatever this thing was. Well, that is my report. I hope that I do not sound like a complete imbecile, but I do know that what we saw was real flesh and blood and was quite scary as hell. Thank you for your time and attention to this. I sincerely appreciate it. So Manuel Navarrete of the UFO Clearinghouse goes on to say in his notes, contact was made with the witness and an extensive conversation was held. The witness who reported the sighting and her friend both stated that this creature was solid black and reminded them of the harpies in the movie Clash of the Titans. She did state that it had 2 arms and 2 legs, and both seemed to be tipped with talons. The witness stated that the only lingering effect was a loud hum that was heard by everybody. The witness stated that the creature was flapping its wings and that it made a sound that sounded like squeaky brakes. We have heard that before in other reports. When given the chance to add to the story or embellish it in any way, the witness stuck to the original story. It is the investigators' opinions that these witnesses are being genuine and that there did not seem to be hoaxing the story in any way. All right, let's just walk down here and take a look at the harbor and the island. Okay, if we can just pan around, maybe look over there. There's the kite again, coming up over the island area. Thanks again. That again was number 39 on the Chicago Mothman sightings map. Thanks again. We'll be bringing another report real soon.